4th grade. We are ready for math lesson 163. Let's start off this morning with some concept cards. So go ahead and tell me the answers for these, and I will tell you, and you can see if you are correct. What is this shape? Circle, triangle, angle, trapezoid, parallelogram, rhombus, intersecting lines, congruent angles, right angle, ray, line, line segment, point, polygon, simple closed curve, perpendicular lines, parallel lines. Now, 1 square yard equals how many square feet? First of all, remember, if you have a yard, there are 3 feet in a yard, but 1 square yard equals how many square feet? So you take 3 feet and multiply it by itself. What is 3 times 3? It is 9. So 1 square yard equals 9 square feet. Now, 1 square foot equals how many square inches? So first of all, 1 foot equals 12 inches. So you're going to take 12 and multiply it by itself. So 1 square foot equals 144 square inches. Now, in our lesson today, we are reviewing area and perimeter. But before we do that, let's just talk about what each of those words mean. So what are we talking about when we talk about perimeter? What are we measuring, or what are we talking about? When we measure perimeter, we are measuring the distance around something. If we would be measuring the perimeter of our classroom, we would measure the distance around the classroom, around the rectangle shape of our room. Now, what about the area? What are we measuring when we measure area? When we measure area, we are measuring the inside of a shape, and we measure that with square units. We count how many squares are inside of something, okay? Now, we have formulas that help us to measure these things. So let's go over those formulas. First of all, what is the formula for finding the area of a square? That is A equals S times S. So you take the side and you multiply it by the side, and that gives you the area. What's the formula for finding the perimeter of a square? P equals 4 times side, because there are 4 sides on a square and they're all the same length. So you go 4 times 1 side. What's the formula for finding the area of a rectangle? A equals length times width. So instead of counting all the squares inside your rectangle, all you have to do is go length and multiply it by the width, and that will give you the area. That will tell you how many squares are inside of it. And what is the formula for finding the perimeter of a rectangle? P equals in parentheses 2 times L plus in parentheses 2 times W. Okay, and that's because you have 2 lengths on a rectangle that are both the same, and then you have 2 widths that are the same. So if you multiply 2 times the length and 2 times the width and you add them together, that will give you your final perimeter. So I have some dimensions here on the board, and let's go ahead and find the area of the rectangle, the area of the square, perimeter of the rectangle, and perimeter of the square. So first of all, what is our formula for finding the perimeter of the rectangle? Now remember, it is P equals, in parentheses, 2 times L plus, in parentheses, 2 times W. Now you need to keep on writing down your formula every single time, because that will help you to remember what formula goes with what kind of problems. Now we need to put our numbers in for our formula. 2 times 1 and a half, which is our length, plus 2 times 3/4, which is our width. Okay, so now we go 2 times 1 and a half. Let's go ahead and we'll go 2 over 1 times 3 over 2. Make that an improper fraction. And that gives us 6 over 2, and that can be 3. Okay, so we have p equals 3 plus, now we need to go 2 times 3/4. So we go 2 over 1 times 3 over 4 equals 6 over 4. And we can make 6 over 4 1 and 2/4, which also equals 1 and 1/2. Okay, so now we have p equals 3 plus 1 and 1/2. And our final answer is the perimeter is 4 and 1/2 feet. Okay, now if we want to find the area, we have A equals length times width. We simply go A equals 1 and 1/2 times 3/4. Let's get rid of this. We have room to work our problem. So we have 1 and 1/2, which is 3 over 2 times 3 over 4. That gives us 9 over 8, and we can make that a mixed number, which is 1 and 1/8. Okay? So our answer, area equals 1 and 1/8 square feet. Remember, whenever it's area is when you need to write in square. Okay, now we have our square. Let's find the perimeter of the square. P equals 4 times S. Because there are 4 sides, all the same. P equals 4 times 43. So we have 43 times 4. And our final answer is perimeter equals 172 inches. Okay? Now we need to find the area. So we have area equals side times side. Area equals 43 times 43. Now we go ahead and work this. 43 times 43. Add these together, we have 9, 4, 8, and 1. And our answer is area equals 1,849. Our unit is inches, and because it's area, we write square inches. So 1,849 square inches. Work your lesson carefully as you review area and perimeter. Make sure you write down your formula every single time for all the problems. Let me know if you have any questions and hope you have fun working your lesson.